Looking around online today, it's really not all that hard to find Super Mario clones. People have been making these games for a long time now, and some of them are really interesting. There's even newer ones made in Unity and Unreal Engine that really look impressive. Now, Nintendo certainly isn't fine with fans making their own adventures for Mario, but a big factor why they don't try and shut them all down is probably that fan games are generally free games. They're not trying to make a profit off their generic Mario. I don't blame developers for wanting to bring Super Mario to computers. There was no way Nintendo was going to bring the game off their hardware. Well, there was that one time. Nintendo did take action against a more notable Mario clone called the Great Gianna Sisters. Urban legend goes that Nintendo sued the developers and influenced retailers to pull the game from shelves. Whether or not that's true, the outcome was bad for Gianna. But today, I've got a game for you that completely flew under Nintendo's radar. It was never busted by Big N. This is Super STario Land, a retro Super Mario Land clone from Top Byte Software. It was an exclusive game to the Atari ST home computer. What is an Atari ST? It's a computer. One made by Atari in the mid-80s that was capable of good graphics and sound for the time. This game was released pretty late in the computer's lifespan. This game came out in 1995, and the ST was discontinued back in 1993. Super STario Land is a Super Mario Land clone, with influences from other games in the Super Mario series. It's got your standard Goomba jumpin', question block bashin', power-up gettin' action that you'd expect from a Super Mario game. You can even ride a Ganchan. Only one of the unique aspects of this game is that it uses semi-randomized level structure. That means the levels in this game are made up of a bunch of small chunks that are strung together to make a complete level stage. And while interesting, I gotta admit, the way this actually plays out is quite boring. You're constantly playing the same level chunks over and over again. It sometimes feels like the stages are too long because of this and the incredible difficulty of this game. Saying that this game is hard is an understatement. It's punishing with its unforgiving hitboxes, slippery movement, and fast enemies. Some very cheaps here. Why do these guys move so fast? There are power-ups in this game. You've got potions instead of mushrooms. You've got the fire flower, the star, even the carrot from Super Mario Land 2. Unfortunately, power-ups are very scarce when you're deep in the game. And what's crazy is I only ran into the carrot once the whole time I played this game. I came into this game not knowing just how many levels were in this game, but I found out there are 3 stages for each world, or I guess they're called lands on this game. I thought it would be a short game, like the original Super Mario Land, but soon found out that this game is way longer than I could have imagined. 108 stages. That's too many. After I beat stage 9-3, I originally thought it was over. Nope. It starts back up at A-1. And these aren't bonus levels. These are just more of the same levels that you've already played a million times at this point. The repetition is insanity. I spent 3 hours total working through these levels. I ended up having to use a cheat where I wouldn't lose any lives if I died. I played these levels to about D-1, where at that point I couldn't handle it anymore. I started using another cheat that would let me skip through levels. I skipped all the way to level Z-3, which thankfully was the end of this game. it does have a proper ending, kinda. So it wasn't until after hours and hours of playing, and finally getting to the end, where I came to the realization that I might have been going at this game all wrong from the beginning. I don't think the goal of this game is to get through all of the levels and beat it, like in Super Mario Bros. The goal to this game is to simply get a high score. There's no way they expected anyone to be able to get all the way through this frightfully difficult adventure. But I think they decided to give you enough levels that you're bound to lose all your lives before you reach the end of the game. So the focus is then just competing with others on the high score table. Personally, I did not enjoy how the levels are randomized. I would have much preferred a smaller game with handcrafted levels than this game with 108. With the difficulty of this game, it doesn't take very long to get frustrating.
That was bullshit.
The graphics in this game were one of my favorite things about it. It's just so blatantly Mario. I find it amusing. Even an early version of this game that they sent out to the press had Mario graphics. The finished game looks like a mix between Super Mario Land and Super Mario 3. I liked the graphics for the level pieces, great design with the enemies. Some look better than others, but man, how cute did this bee look? I don't want to hurt that guy. STario looks really similar to Mario. Kinda looks like they just took Mario's mustache away and screwed with his head a little bit to make him look happy. A little too happy. Oh wait, yeah, that's exactly what they did. Except here, when you have fireballs, Stario's got some sunglasses, so you know he's cool. I kid. But I really do like the graphics in this game. This was a 16-bit machine, and these graphics look like they were aiming for an 8-bit style, and they look really clean and inviting. I dig it. This game has both sound effects as well as music, though not at the same time. You can hit F9 on the keyboard to switch between them. The music is kind of lacking with only about 3 tracks or so, but I did enjoy what it does have. Good stuff. As far as recommending this game to you guys, I probably wouldn't. It's not really what you'd expect from a Super Mario game, and it doesn't take long to get both frustrated and bored. Don't play it like I did and just try and charge through the game using cheats. If you play it like that, it's not a fun game. Play it without cheats and see how much of a high score you can get. If you've got the original Atari hardware, this would be a fun one to have on hand. But otherwise, I personally don't think it's worth the trouble of tracking it down and setting up an emulator. But if you do go that route, I recommend using the Atari emulator to play this one. It was the most painless emulation experience. Just hit F12 and click floppy disks and load your game. You can also easily use a gamepad with this. The emulator does have built-in controller support, but this game uses the up direction on the gamepad for jumping, and that's not how I roll. I jump with A. So I like to set the joystick to keyboard controls and then set up my gamepad in the free keyboard to joystick controller mapping program, Anti-Micro. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is STario, a retro Super Mario Land inspired game where points are what you're after. Not your conventional Super Mario game, but an interesting game in my opinion. Hey guys, I want to thank you for your time today and for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like on the video. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. As always, I've got a lot more coming up here on Killgruz, so I'll see you soon with a new video. Goodbye.